Hello and welcome back to part 2 or video 2 of this 8-part video series that I'm calling 2022 Let's Preptober Together. Hi, I'm Kimberly Grymes, a science fiction and fantasy writer and the author of Isildas, along with The Red Umber Forest and several published short stories. I will leave the details of each story in the description below because I really want to jump into this video. A quick recap of what this series is about. I'm using my Preptober Checklist that is available on my Etsy shop to plan out my NaNoWriMo writing project. This is an 8-part video series, so if you haven't watched the previous video, I recommend checking out video 1 first. I'm not going to go over recap specifics from each video because there's going to be a total of 8 videos with 16 checkboxes, and that's just a lot to recap. So just make sure you watch them in order or go get a worksheet and just kind of plan out what you want to do. Okay, we're still in week 1, but on to the last 2 checkboxes, character list and who is the MC. So let's go ahead and jump right into the first video, which is character list. So next on week 1, the third checkbox is character list. Create character profiles, focus more on personality, wants, needs. Next week, you'll focus on physical attributes. Okay, so character list. This isn't to be confused with the next checkbox, which is who is the MC. That's when you're going to write out your detailed outline of who your MC is, the lie they believe, their personality, and how they'll change. So right now we're just kind of focusing on who do we see in our story. And so I just kind of want to make a list of who that is. And I'm just going to tell you right now, got the main character. I know I have this side character coming in. He plays an important role in kind of influencing her decisions. He does have a goal as well. I know that. I have to come up with a story about why she left village A and is going to village B, and who she's there with. Is she living with grandparents, family, friends, some other people? She is a young adult, so I am going to keep her probably around like 16 or 17 years old. Other characters I will still have to come up with, but as of right now, that's the majority. Not so bad, and you can always add or edit the list as the Preptober month continues. Okay, so that was the character list. Let's now focus on the MC, our main character. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and jump into who is the MC. Write out a detailed outline of who your MC is, the lie they believe, their personality, and how they will change. This is where I'm going to jump back into my brainstorming worksheet and, you know, that page of who the heck is in your story. A lot of the information at the top regards, you know, who they are, you know, their gender, do they have pets, siblings, all this stuff, and that's all helping building their character. But again, we don't want to get into the physical stuff until next week. We just want to focus on basically their before and after character arc. So what behaviors do they do now, and because of circumstances, just because of who they are and everything. And like I said, with this character in my short story, I am using Beatrix from the Winx saga as my role model of her behaviors and how she acts. And that's kind of how I want this main character in my short story to kind of be. Okay, so I've taken some other notes regarding my main character and the magic she has. So there are so many infinite number of magic systems that are out there that can be that still haven't been written a ton. And I don't know how complex I want to get with this magic system. So that is kind of undecided. But some questions that I do have written down that I need to think about are, does she tell others about her magic? Do people know about her magic? Because remember I said earlier that this world that I'm writing it doesn't have, like, everybody doesn't have magic, so it's not common to have magic. Another question, does she know how to control or use her magic? She wasn't born with it. She obtained it. She got it somehow. And I have to figure that out too. But these are all questions you want to write down because you want to kind of get all this stuff out of the way before NaNoWriMo starts. So I do know that magic has a role to play in her character arc. And I also know that her circumstances, being in Village A, and then moving to Village B, and then ultimately wanting to go back to Village A. That also has a huge role in her character arc and her story. Okay, so I really feel like for this video with the character list, and now we're writing out who the MC is, I really feel like I have a really good foundation to who will be in the story and more about my main character and her story character arc. I do have a good feeling about that. Like, I know the direction I want to go and I feel good. So come next week, then I will move on to writing an outline and doing research and then diving deeper into the character list and creating some mood boards. So for this week, I feel like we did really good. I feel like we have a good start, which is really good for prepping your story. I love figuring out character flaws and circumstances that have molded their insecurities or have played a role in their internal conflict. So it may not all come at once right now, but at least you're getting these questions out of the way before NaNoWriMo. The first week is done. Week 1 is done. It may seem like we still have a long way to go in planning this story, but that's why I've broken down the process into easy handled chunks. Some tasks are easier than others, but the overall point is to prep your story before day 1 of NaNoWriMo, before November 1st. I can't talk today. November 1st starts. Remember, this is a video series, which means that I will be trying to post twice a week for the entire month of October. I'm aiming to, at least. Thanks again for watching the 2022 Let's Preptober Together video series. This was video 2. And don't forget, there's a 20% sale right now currently running for all my digital download listings in my Etsy shop for the entire month of October 2022. So if you want to go and grab your copy of the Preptober Checklist, then now is the time. Also, be sure to check out my books and short stories either on Goodreads, Amazon, or my author website where the excerpts are listed for all of my published work. And don't forget to show some love for this video and ring that bell if you want to stay in the loop for future videos. Remember to keep reading, keep writing, and keep moving forward.